Dear students, today we will study about force of friction or simply friction. Now consider a body is placed on a table or on a surface. A body of mass m is placed on a horizontal table or on this surface. Now, with our common experiences, we know that it is balanced. The weight of the body is balanced by the normal reaction, right? And so it is stable. Now, it's our common experience that if we apply a small force on the body does not move. If we are applying this force, no motion of the body takes place. But according to Newton's law of motion, if force is applied, external force is applied, then the body should move with an acceleration a if there is no other force is present. And in our common experience, we say that if we apply a small force to a body placed on a horizontal surface and it is not moving, that means some force other than this normal reaction and the weight, some other force is present, that is existing, and this force we call it as force of friction. Now this force of friction opposes the impending motion. Now this impending motion means the body would move if there is no force of friction, but the body is not moving because of the force of friction. I am again repeating, the term impending motion means motion that would take place but not actually take place under the applied force, because force of friction is present. Now, if we increase the force, the applied force, if we increase, that means if we are increasing this force, applied force, then we will see that up to a certain limit the body does not move. But if we keep on increasing, the body starts moving. Now, suppose this is F1 and this is F2. Now, if it is greater than a certain value, then the body starts moving. So, what force that was existing to oppose the motion of the body even when the force is applied, that is the force of friction. And till the body does not move, the force of friction that exists, that is called static friction. That means the force of friction that comes into play when a force is applied on a body, but body does not move. Means we are applying the force on a body, but the body is not moving. That means this force is called the static friction, and this is equal to the applied force. force of friction, that means is equal to the applied force, and the body is not moving, that's why we call it as static friction, and we generally denote this by Fs or small f and the subscript s. Now these forces, they are vector quantities. Force is a vector quantity. So we can write in NCERT books, it is by bold letters. So we can write by vector notation Fs or Fs. This is the static friction, and this is the static friction we can denote by these notations, that static friction. Now the very important thing, that if we draw the graph between applied force and applied force, say F, and force of friction, say this is the axis for applied force. Here we are denoting the magnitude of the applied force, and here we are denoting the static friction. Now as the body is not moving, this means whatever the applied force, the static friction is equal to that. That means we get a straight line. We get a straight line when we draw the graph between applied force and the force of friction. That means this is a thing, that static friction is equal to the applied force, the magnitude of the static friction and the applied force are equal and their directions are just opposite. That means the static friction opposes the impending motion of the body. Now what happens if we increase the applied force further? On increasing the applied force further, then we see that after a certain limit of the applied force, the body starts moving. So the maximum limit of static friction is called limiting friction. Limiting friction. That means this is, suppose we say that this is the maximum limit of the static friction, and we call it as limiting friction. And if we further increase the applied force, if we further increase the applied force, means greater than the limiting friction, then the body starts moving, and but there exists a force of friction between the surfaces in contact, and this kinetic friction is somewhat, this is known as kinetic friction. That means the force of friction that exists when the body is moving on another surface. That means the force of friction which opposes the relative motion when a body is moving on a surface is called kinetic friction. And this is somewhat less than the limiting friction. So first we define that what is kinetic friction. The force of friction which exist when a body moves on a surface is called kinetic friction. This also opposes the motion or the relative motion of the body and the surface in contact. This should be very clear that the kinetic friction that always opposes the relative motion. Kinetic friction, we cannot say that it opposes the motion of a body, but it opposes the relative motion of a body. Now this kinetic friction is somewhat less than the static friction. And if the surface is the same, the property of the surface is same all over, then this kinetic friction is same. That means we get a kinetic friction. If we draw the graph, then this is the body comes in motion and this is the kinetic friction. This is same. Kinetic friction, the straight line that is representing the kinetic friction, and this is representing the static friction, and the maximum value that is called the limiting friction. So from the graph we can say that limiting friction has the greatest value and static friction is the self-adjusting friction. Static friction is called the self-adjusting friction. Please, you can note this thing that static friction is a self-adjusting friction. Why? Because on increasing the applied force, the force of friction also increases, because static friction is always equal in magnitude to the applied force. That means if we increase the applied force and the body is not moving, the static friction, that means the static friction is equal to that. That means whatever the force we are applying on the body and the body is not moving, that means the static friction is equal to that in magnitude and opposite in direction. That's why the body is not moving, and therefore we say that static friction is a self-adjusting friction. Now static friction is independent of the, when we talk about the laws of the friction, laws of static friction, it is independent. Static friction is independent of the independent of the area of contact, area of contact. That means it does not depends on the area of the area of contact of the surfaces. Many of us, they have the view that more the rough surface of the body of the bodies in contact, more will be the static friction or the kinetic friction, or more will be the friction. So it should be very clear that the static friction and the kinetic friction, they are independent of the area of the contact. They do not depend on the area of the contact. Now, second thing, second law, that means the important one, it varies with the normal force or the normal reaction, as static friction is directly proportional to the normal reaction, as Fs is directly proportional. This is the maximum value of the Fs, that means static friction. It is directly proportional to the normal reaction. So in order to remove this sign of proportionality, we get a constant, and this constant is denoted by as mu. It is denoted by mu s. S subscript is for static, where mu s is a constant of proportionality known as coefficient of static friction. Frictional force that opposes the relative motion between surfaces in contact is called kinetic or sliding friction, and is denoted by Fk. This we know. Now, like static friction, it is found that the kinetic friction laws of kinetic friction first, that is, it is independent of the area of contact. It is independent of area of contact of the two surfaces. For relative motion we are considering, that means it does not depends on the area of the contact. That means we cannot say that if area of contact is more, the friction will be more, and if the area of contact is less, the kinetic friction is less. It is independent of the area of the contact. That means we cannot talk about the area of the contact in terms of the kinetic friction dependence. That means kinetic friction do not depends on the area of the contact of the two surfaces. And like static friction, it is directly proportional. It is directly proportional to the normal reaction. That is, Fk is directly proportional to normal reaction, or Fk is equal to mu k r, where mu k is called the coefficient of kinetic friction. Coefficient of kinetic friction. Mu k depends on only on the surfaces in only on the surfaces in contact. Now, if we see the surfaces, the nature of the surface is made different for the different surfaces. So mu k may be different for the different surfaces, and thus the motion may be different. The acceleration produced in the body will be different. Now, listen, if on a surface a body is moving with constant velocity, constant or uniform velocity, this means that applied force, the magnitude of the applied force is equal to the force of friction. If these two forces are equal, then only the body can move with constant velocity or the uniform velocity. And if kinetic friction is more, suppose if a body is moving and this is acting and no force is applied, so a kinetic friction will act which opposes the motion, and ultimately the body comes to rest. This is our common observation, that when a ball is rolling on a surface and it comes to rest, according to Newton's first law of motion, the body continues in its state of uniform motion if no force is acting on it, but it comes to rest because of the force of friction between the surfaces. The relative motion decreases, as on the ball there is no applied force but a force of friction, a kinetic friction that is acting and which opposes the motion of the relative motion of the ball with respect to the surface, and ultimately the body comes to rest. This is also the case with a pendulum. We see a pendulum which is oscillating comes to halt, comes to stop, stops oscillating after some time because of the force of friction of air. In vacuum, if it is oscillating, it will oscillate for infinite time. Now one important thing that is very important, the laws of friction do not have the status of fundamental laws like those for gravitational, electric and magnetic forces. They are empirical relations that are only approximately true, but they are very useful in practical calculations in mechanics. Now, friction by definition is the component of the constant force parallel to the surfaces in contact which opposes impending or actual relative motion between the two surfaces. Again, I am saying that it should be noted that it is not motion but relative motion that the frictional force opposes. If we consider an example that on a truck or a bus, a surface or a body is lying on its surface, right? A bus or a truck that is moving, and this is placed, and if it is not sliding, if it is also moving with the same uniform velocity or with constant acceleration, whatever be there, that means there is something that keeps on it, because if the bus or the truck that starts moving, then the surface of the bus that should slide away. But if it remains on the bus or the truck, the body, then this means that there is some force, and that is the force of friction that keeps off from sliding. That means the body is not sliding, some force is there, that is the force of friction which keeps the body on the surface of the bus or the truck, and also this body also moves with the velocity of the bus or the truck, or accelerates with the acceleration of the bus or the truck. So this should be very clear, that force of friction that exists between the two surfaces. Now, when a body moves on a plane surface, we talk about, that is called the sliding friction. Kinetic friction, which we have studied, that is the general one. If a body is moving, that is called the sliding friction. Suppose we say a body, the two surfaces are in contact and they are the plane surfaces, and the body is moving, the force of friction is called sliding friction. Now, we have seen the wheels of the automobiles, wheels of the train, wheels of our bicycle or the bikes. Now, why we use these wheels? Why we do not use the plane surfaces? Now, these wheels, they have revolutionized the transportation. Now, these wheels, is there any friction if they are moving on a surface? Yes, they also possess the force of friction between the two surfaces, or when the wheels they move. But when the wheels rotate, then rolling friction, we have a term, that is a rolling friction that occurs. Here the surface is in contact and the body moves, the surfaces are plane and the body moves, that the force of friction that exists or that comes into play, that is called sliding friction. And if we have a spherical body, a circular body, if it moves on a surface, then rolling friction that takes place, and this is very very important, that rolling friction is less than the sliding friction. Rolling friction is less than the sliding friction, and because of this we have the circular wheels in the automobiles or the bikes or the trains, because the friction that causes the wears and tears and wearing and tearing of the tires and reduces the efficiency. So in order to reduce all this, rolling friction that is applied by using the wheels, and where you might have heard the sleighs which we use, which is driven by the dogs or the reindeers in the you can say snow-bound areas, sleighs, and they do not have the wheels, because on ice friction is more. So in order to increase friction is less, and in order to increase the friction, the wheels are not used on the sleighs, but it is taken as the plain surfaces. Now, friction, what are the effects of the friction? What are the disadvantages of the force of the friction? Friction is a necessary evil. There are some advantages and there are some disadvantages. Now, we know that friction causes wearing and tearing of tires in automobiles, causes tearing of machine parts, wearing and tearing of machine parts, reduces efficiency, more energy consumes more energy. So these are the disadvantages where we do not require. Now, friction